What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, you guys. It is the 29th day of June, and here we are with about 22 hours left in this brand new day, sitting at about 1.48 cents. Not moving a whole lot. We didn't move a whole lot yesterday, and we're up a little bit right now. It wouldn't surprise me if we move down by the end of the day. Perhaps with Bitcoin as well. We'll see. Looking at this on the daily time frame, do we want to start with the daily? Let's start with the 15-minute. We'll zoom out. I like to do it that way. And maybe we can look at some longer term stuff too. I've been in a long term kind of mood today. 1.5 cents, yeah. So looking at this here, to me, and it doesn't mean that it has to be this way, but to me it almost looks like you have a bear flag on the 15-minute time frame, does it not? Kind of like the hockey stick of bearish brilliance coming to the downside here. Maybe it's a horizontal channel, whatever you want to call it, but it would make sense that we go a little bit lower. Do we go lower than these lows? Yeah, maybe, probably, but don't get discouraged if we do. From a low here to a high there, the expectation here would be we probably go down to about 1.45 to 1.44 cents. We're at 1.48 cents now, so that's nothing too crazy. Perhaps we do go all the way down to 1.4 or even 1.38 cents, but we'll get into that. That's a very insignificant time frame, and it's very likely that what we see, because of how small this fib is, it is very likely that we actually go into these secondary areas at like 1.43 to 1.38 cents, something in that area there. Okay, if we look at this on the 1 hour, and I think the 15-minute RSI agrees, right? Rejecting the overbought zone. You got oversold, no problem. You're rejecting the overbought area. You're getting higher highs in the RSI. Oh, you're getting higher highs in the price too. You had like this flat shaven top with ascending lows you still couldn't break out. You had no volume to back it up, right? No volume coming in over the weekends. Rejecting the 50, likely going to go down, right? Makes sense. Getting these bigger candles to the downside than you are to the upside. It makes me think that we're in a more bearish environment right now than we are in a bullish environment. 1 hour time frame. The 1 hour time frame seems a bit similar, doesn't it? We got higher highs here, high, higher high, high here, lower highs. It's hidden bearish divergence, right? You've been moving up while moving down. You have a bit of a flat bottom with descending highs overall. You have ascended your highs over the past 24 hours, but I still think it looks bearish, right? Especially this rejection off the 60 back below the 50 here. We likely do get to the oversold zone, and with that I would expect some kind of a continuation of this downward sloping movement here, right? Let's look at this from a low to a high. Low to a high here, right there. Pretty wicked volatility going all the way down to your 100 level and then coming back up to your 0.5. Pretty interesting dynamic there. Pretty weird, but it's over the weekend. Typically finding resistance at the golden ratio, and that's not a good thing. You likely, whenever you find this much resistance at it coming from the downside up here, you likely do see extensions. So here, and this is a more significant fib than this low to high, which is what we had drawn at first. Here, even though it's more significant, I would still call this a pretty small fib. I would still believe that we go to the 1.618 to the 2.618, somewhere down there. 1.427 cents to 1.36 cents, something like that. And maybe lower. That could happen. Let's just see what this agrees with if we're taking a relative low to high here, because this is a little bit more significant of a fib right here. Golden ratio. The golden ratio encapsulates that 2272. So it's very possible that we go down to that 2272. Is there any reason? Let's see. Have we found resistance or support at the 2272 recently? Let's do this. Low to high. 1.618. Found support at the 1.272. Maybe you go just below the 2.272 there. Not anything significant there. What about this? What about this high to low here? That's probably a 1.618 as well, isn't it? Nope, a little bit. 1.414. Just above there. No 2.272s. Typically, you kind of hang out. You'll show respect at the same fibs typically, and it's not like the same fib every single time, but just in that kind of, you kind of have like a relationship with fibs that you like, and you go back and forth between those, but not always. Sometimes it's been a long time since I've seen you, 2272. How's it going? Let's meet up this time. I don't know. Maybe that's what it's planning. I don't know. Let's look at this from a low to a high. What about this one? 1.618, yeah. Typically, you seem to like that, actually. The 1.618 seems to be a thing. So even then, maybe we could consider the 1.618 a little bit more. Why is this? I'm like pulling it sideways and it wasn't moving. There we go. Did you guys see that? I like moved it and it wouldn't move. Low to high. No, not low to high here. I meant to do this low to high. Low to high here. 1618 is at 1.43, just below 1.43 cents. Somewhere around there to 1.36 cents. Okay, something in that zone there is what I'm thinking. In the 1 hour RSI agrees, man. It looks bearish to me. Better opportunity to buy, right, guys? 4 hour time frame can't get above the 50, living below the 50 like this. Yeah, we're probably going to go a little bit lower, at least a little bit lower, right? We take this low to the high again, and that golden ratio down there is at just below 1.4 cents. I keep going back and forth. I think we will go just below 1.4 cents, but there's a chance we could find support right there or around there. There's a chance we find support a little bit above 1.4 cents, but I'm thinking that we do go just below 1.4, something at like 1.36 to 1.39, 1.32 at the most, right? Do be aware that this zone right now is strongly anticipated, at least on my end. I think that that's where we're going to go. If we tear through it and we don't stop there, we likely will find support at the 786, 886 area. We likely will find support right there, and then we will see a rapid recovery. Okay, when you tear through the golden ratio on the first attempt like this, if you tear through it fast, you oftentimes almost always find support here, and then you get massive volatility back to the upside. So just be aware of that. Even if we tear through this kind of expected area, it's nothing to be concerned with. In fact, it might even be preferable. I'll tell you what, I mean, I would be going hard on XCN here if that was the case. 4 hour RSI looks bearish to me as well. Okay. Actually, I mean, if we're being honest, overall it looks pretty damn bullish with this uptrend. But just relatively speaking, it looks bearish. You could move down and still be bullish overall, right? Find support at the same areas you did before. Find support off the oversold zone. You can still be bullish overall. As long as we're getting overbought and not getting oversold like this, I think we're in a very bullish circumstance, just a little bit lower. Nothing crazy. We're at 1.48 cents now, so to go down that low, it's nothing crazy at all. Daily time frame. And let's pull up some other indicators because we haven't looked at these in a second. And I think now that we're on the daily, we can pull these guys up. They're more relevant on the daily anyways. Stochastics are having a hard time, but I would think you get overbought before you get oversold. So again, a little pullback, but nothing crazy. MACD is also right here around the zero line, so you might wrestle that a little bit, see a little bit of turbulence, but nothing crazy. We're probably about to break out. Really, what I'm seeing from the stochastics and the MACD, right? The stochastics get overbought, bullish. The RSI gets overbought, bullish. The MACD crosses above the zero line, bullish. So you're on the precipice of some very bullish things igniting for OnyxCoin on the daily time frame, which so far is the most significant time frame we've looked at. Hold on. Had to clear my throat. I don't know why that happens sometimes, but it's like whether I eat food or I don't. I feel like it's worse if I eat food, but anyways, enough about me. I definitely would expect that maybe not right now, today, tomorrow, the next day that we move up, but soon enough, guys. Like soon enough. And I know I've been saying that. We've been patient. We've been patient for a long time. Patience is about to pay off, okay? Just like here, when you got overbought, you saw this nice 200 and something % move in a 3-day time span. Whenever we get overbought here on the daily time frame, overbought on the stochastics, flip this above the zero like we did here. We do all these good things in combination. We're going to get a very robust move. And again, I think this move will be larger than the move that took us into this area at first anyways. If we're looking at this on a long-term perspective now, where are we going to go? What makes the most sense, right? Well, we can, we've deduced, and I could go over this again if you guys really want to, but I mean, let's do it just real quick. Okay, XCN, BTC. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this already, this little tidbit of information. I'll just try to go over it really briefly. I feel like I always say I'll go over it briefly and then it takes a second, just because there's a lot of things you got to explain. I don't want to just say, hey, this is this and we're going here and I'm not going to explain why, right? That's just not my style. Normally, even if it's repetitive, some people have a really hard, why is this freezing? I'm going to turn up the performance. Some people have a hard time repeating things, right? I don't mind repeating things, man. I think I'd be a good teacher because I could teach the same stuff over and over and over again and just repeat the same stuff because you either do or you don't realize that for some people it's the first time hearing this, and that's why you have to be. Sometimes it feels repetitive and it feels like everybody should know, but that's kind of how it is at like a job too. I'm going off on a whole different subject here, but if you're like working at a restaurant or you're working at like a job in like retail and you have to sell things, you have to be aware of things. You're at a restaurant, you have to sell food, and you have to recommend stuff. If you're the kind of person that hates repeating yourself, you're not going to be good at those jobs, right? because people are going to come in and ask questions. They're going to be the same questions every time. Oh, what's your favorite meal? Oh, why is this hat more expensive than that hat? You know, or like, what's the benefit of this or that? And you've answered a billion times, but for them, it's the first time. You have to have that enthusiasm and that patience and understanding that they don't understand to talk to them as if it's the first time you've explained it, right? Not everybody can do that. I've just noticed that in my time working, man. Some people really have a hard time repeating themselves. I don't enjoy repeating myself if I'm talking to somebody, right? If I'm having a conversation, nobody does. But like with this kind of stuff, I don't mind it. But here I am dilly-dallying. Looking at this on a weekly time frame, let me explain real quick that here, whenever we moved up, if you're looking at this move down overall, where did we stop on this move up? We stopped somewhere in the significant areas in this move down. Well, this is just a straight shot down. This is a significant area here. We didn't really have any other areas of significance until we got down here. So where did we stop? Well, you'd be surprised, or maybe not surprised at all, to find that this stopping point happened to be pinpoint smack dab right at the base area of this only significant area throughout this just straight move down, okay? That's where we found resistance. My question, thinking logically here, thinking forward, is that when we move up, are we going to stop? We just consolidated since January. We just consolidated for 6 months. Are we going to move up? Maybe 7 months. I guess six months, 5 months, whatever. We consolidated for a long time below this line. We move up. Are we going to stop just above it? Are we going to stop right here at this high? I don't think so. I think we're going to break out of this area and move up to the next area. Well, where is it? It's not here. It's not there. It's all the way up here. All the way up here, right here at the very lowest. And I think we'll even go above this line. But even at that line there, which is 501872, Google calculator, 501872, right? Yes. If we multiply that number by the price of Bitcoin, whatever Bitcoin's price will be within the next couple of months, we should get an answer as to what OnyxCoin's price in US dollar would be. Well, Bitcoin, I don't know about you guys, but I'm assuming that by the end of July, and probably even going into August, I'm assuming Bitcoin will be worth about $180,000. About that. Maybe OnyxCoin tops off in July, so Bitcoin's not quite at 180. Okay, let's multiply it by 140K. Let's say OnyxCoin tops off before Bitcoin does, and Bitcoin's at 140K. Okay, 140. What price does that give us? That gives us a 26-cent price, which coincidentally coincides with this 1886 target up here, target that we've been eyeballing for a very long time. This is where I think we're going to go on this next move, is somewhere up in this zone. Okay, let's say Bitcoin is at maybe 160K. Maybe it's not 140K, but it's at 160K by the time OnyxCoin tops off. We have a 30-cent price, right? And again, that is well encapsulated in this 26 to 32 cent range. I doubt OnyxCoin and Bitcoin top off at the same time. They haven't really done that at all this cycle so far, but let's say that they do. And Bitcoin, I'm pinpoint accurate. Bitcoin goes to 185K, something like that. OnyxCoin goes to 34 cents. Now, this is a little bit outside that area, but maybe that happens, you know? It's very possible. We take a high, nope, that was not the high. We take a high to low here, and we can see that we have targets that line up with these areas as well based on these fibs. Now, could we go to 53 cents? Sure, it could happen, but I don't think that XCN, BTC, I don't think... Did I get bit by a mosquito? Why do I feel like I got bit by a freaking mosquito? Those little bastards, man. They work their way in here. It's bad, man. It is bad. The mosquitoes are bad outside. We leave the doors open, you know, because it's fun. The cats like to go outside. My daughter likes to play outside. She doesn't get bit by me. They like me, man. It's something about me. Like, if I'm with my wife and my daughter, they don't get bit by mosquitoes. They just all... I'll slap 20 mosquitoes, and they don't even... They might slap one in that amount of time, if that. But enough about me. Just saying, I don't think we get too much above this. I think we will find resistance directly there, because that's a massive growth in itself. We're going to see basically a replicated move of this. If you're calling this a bull flag like I am, I think this is a bull flag right here, right? If you're looking at it from a low to a high, you put this bull flag measurement right at the base here, as you would. That lines up perfectly with this area as well. So I think we will go there, right? I don't think we'll go above that. And if we do nominal amounts, but if we went fantastically above this versus Bitcoin, I mean, man, we could see some crazy high prices, you guys. Oh, I just saw it. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I'm going to end the video, guys. I'm going to end the video on that note. No, let's do one more thing real quick. I'm going to slap this thing silly. It got my blood, but I'm going to get its life. From a high to a low. From a high to a low. this cycle, I would expect that after we see new all-time highs, what we're going to do, we're probably going to go just above our all-time highs here, consolidate, probably pull back to the 886. Very bullish thing to do, by the way. That's actually a very bullish thing to do. It's not common to stop between the 100 and the 1272, but I don't think we're going to rip all the way up to 82 cents by the end of this next move. Maybe we do. I wouldn't be upset. I hope nobody's upset with that. I certainly wouldn't be upset with that. And even then, it's still common to pull back to this area. So even if you sold out here, like I'm going to sell some, not selling out completely, you probably get another chance to buy back, you know. So and then a chance to sell higher too with other things. But I don't think we do that immediately. I think what we're going to do instead is we'll probably where you at, you little thing, you little blood sucking thing. I don't know. I saw that little white thing on my shirt there, and I was like, is that it right there? No. Oh man. They like me. They really do like me, man. It's because I'm so sweet. I believe that we will see new all-time highs by the end of the cycle, and where we're going to go if we take a high to a low, bull market high to bear market low measurement, 82.6 cents seems a little bit low, but that's a good minimum target. 1618 is a bit of a high target. I don't think we get up that high. But the 1414 is interesting. Now, with the 1414, typically you do stop just above it. You don't stop right at it or even below it. But we could stop right at it. Maybe we stop at $1.81. I don't think we stop at 82 cents. So if we don't stop there, where are we going to stop? To me, something around $1.80, around $2 makes a lot of sense. That's where I think we're going to be by the end of the cycle. I'm not going into full depth on that because I want to kill this mosquito. But I'll probably see you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Okay, we'll talk about this stuff some other time. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'm going to kill this little bastard, and I'll see you on the next one, all right? Take care. Bye-bye, and stay away from mosquitoes.